10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everybody to another wonderful night of wrestling here, over here at TWF, the Wednesday Night Wars. You know where it is. This is Comrade Husky Gaming, and of course I'm here as always with the One Heel Kaiju. Say hello.
What is good, my people? It's time for some wrestling. It's time for some wars in the Wednesday type of thing going down. I think we are only, what, 2, 3?
We're in the home
stretch. 3 more matchups? Yeah, we're right there in the home stretch. Things are about to get interesting.
Yeah.
As we get closer and closer to the end, what we're really looking for is a few matchups that have yet to be decided that will definitely decide the fate of our particular brackets, and also the fate of the unified TWF World Heavyweight title. That's what is on the line in this league, though, crowning the first ever cross-promotional champion.
Yep. Yeah, the first ever in singles competition cross-promotional champion. It'll be very interesting, as I'm sure we'll see, considering it's one of those things where the last week we discussed that we had kind of a much greater opening of the field here, where both A and B bracket both had some surprises in terms of victories and losses that I know on the B bracket side of things may lead us into some perhaps overtime matches if certain things go certain ways, with Mr. SAPP facing down Jeff Sue here pretty soon. We may see that tonight. We may see that on our next adventure out into the league wrestling, but it's going to happen pretty soon here. And if he does lose that, we are looking at something like a 5-way tie in B bracket, which is just insane to say. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. And of course, A bracket, while Daniel still holds a pretty firm grasp on victory there, he is not nearly as invincible seeming as he was a couple weeks back. He too has been facing down a couple of pretty impressive opponents, taking another loss. And also now looks like he might just be tying with 1 or 2 people there in A bracket. So yeah, as we said last time, it's going to come down to that wire, and it's going to be interesting pretty much until the very last match, to be sure. So
well, we already got our first matchup of the night: Cameron Chapman versus Prince Rivera. Prince Rivera could very well play spoiler with this one if he manages to get a win over Cameron Chapman. It is a very big possibility, because don't sleep on Rivera. Despite the fact that his record is as low as it is, he still is a formidable opponent that you do not want to wrestle your laurels with. So
yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where you say something like a very big possibility. I think it's merely a possibility at this point. Prince Rivera is, I don't know. He's come out and disappointed me more than once here in this league. I know that has been shared by a couple different people. I understand why people like Mr. Prince Rivera, why they've had hopes for him, but I think his score kind of says it all in terms of how well he's done here. Whereas Cameron Chapman, of course, the giant killer, has come out here and defeated the 2 people that have befuddled the current TCW champion, DARRELL DUNN. So I'll just say, if Rivera does win here, you'll definitely see me being shocked, perhaps even appalled. But I guess there is no other way to do it than to just see how it happens.
Let's go for it. Oh, someone lost some music.
Oh. Interesting.
I think the people in the truck got a little bit messed up.
I might have to go and talk to sound guy about that. I'm not really sure what's going on with that one. Is it true both people? Yeah, true. No? No? Well, that's even weirder. Huh.
I don't know. I think maybe Prince Rivera may have went to the truck and said, you know what? I'm the only one who gets the loud, bombastic music. If I'm going to end up with this, the end of this tournament, I might as well, you know, finish it off.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit of mind games going on. I don't know. There might be someone in the back there that is maybe not as enthusiastic about Cameron Chapman as I just was.
Maybe he's just using his money and influence to cause some issues.
Very interesting indeed. Either way, we have the matchup here.
Prince Rivera already taken his time outside the ring. Again, this is your first time watching this particular brand of wrestling. It's not a 10 count, it's a 20 count on the outside. And it looks like Prince Rivera's going to be making full use of that 20 count as much as he possibly can. Gets right back into the ring and gets caught with a little Northern Light suplex.
Yeah, we
rolls his way out.
11 count there, right back into the ring. Yeah. This time just goes right back in.
I mean, I'd be a little bit frustrated. Oh, already party's over with 2.5 minutes into the match, already going for one of his more signature moves. Hits it with that dragon screw kick right to a figure 4.
Yeah, I have a feeling Cameron Chapman kind of feels probably the same way that the fans might have. He wants to get this one done, over with, out of the way. I don't think he's really feeling that this is too much of a threat, so he can go for those high-risk maneuvers pretty early on. Save himself for some of the other opponents that he may have down the line here to finish this off.
Yeah, this is basically what happens in, like, you know, the NBA. A lot of teams in some of the more recent seasons have been criticized, at least before COVID hit, criticized for resting a lot of their heavier stars against some of their other opponents, because you already got to lock into the playoffs. You already got to lock into, you know, into your seeding. So, like, why would you go 110%? It's different here in this particular league tournament because, like, you get a loss, you are completely out of the running in this position. So I think it's more just Cameron just trying to get this match over with as quickly as possible. He doesn't care about the ring psychology. He doesn't care about any of the other things. He just wants to come in and get that victory.
Yeah. Come in, win, leave.
There it goes, coming up. Oh,
just about. 6 minutes in, we're almost looking at a 3 count here.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen this side of Cameron before, where he just comes for these big, monumental moves, and Prince Rivera's got to find some way to stem the tide. Rolling into that arm trap triangle. Oh, there he goes, rolling out of that. He's not letting Prince Rivera get that arm wrench in. And right there, that 5-star clutch.
Just a 2 count this time around, but still getting pretty solid 2s here. This is definitely Cameron Chapman's one to lose. Ooh, a lovely combination. Ducking the punch. And Cameron goes outside this time.
Yeah, he doesn't want to waste any more time. Mushroom stomp out on the outside. You may see that matting right there, but like that's maybe a ½ an inch of protection. That doesn't protect much of anything. Cameron will gladly take the count out win.
Prince Rivera's back in before the 20 count though.
Another nice DDT from Prince Rivera goes right there to the jackknife cover.
Just a 1 count though.
1 count. Almost 10 minutes in, he's only getting 1 counts.
Nice arm hold there by Cameron. Yeah, he's not letting up.
Yeah, I think he's realizing that he is in a completely other tier when it comes down to skill of a super kick. Out of nowhere, Prince Rivera coming up to the top rope.
Oh, misses.
The splash.
Cameron gets it on his.
That's one thing that this league tournament definitely did. It showed that there sometimes is a gulf of difference when it comes down to talent and potential in these respective promotions.
Yep, and there we have it. 11 minutes in. There we go. Some guy seems to have found the music this time. Not sure what that first one's about, but glad he found the correct song this time around.
Yeah, I missed that song. That's what you call a flip.
It's a good song. It's not, yeah. But anyway, good on the sound guy and good on Cameron Chapman.
I don't think anybody really truly expected anything different from this. You know, just barely over 11 minutes, just a nice wrist lock cross arm breaker, making Prince Rivera. I think it's one of the first times I've seen Cameron make somebody tap out. Like not just in the league, but just in wrestling in general. Usually he's going for the high flying moves or going for those pinfalls. But like this is the first time I've seen I could recall him getting a tap out victory. A nice, pretty solid way to start off.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing spectacular, but nothing bad.
2-star match, I would agree with that. Yeah, it's one of those things where Prince Rivera pretty much from the get-go was on his back foot, so it's kind of hard to give it more stars than that when you have only basically one opponent who I think was really giving it that 100%, 110%. But Cameron Chapman is always putting his effort in, trying to get it done early, and manages to do so. And as you said, with a bit of a surprise, as I agree with you, I don't think he's done a hell of a lot of sort of ground-based wrestling in that regard, in that particular style. Not successfully, not to a victory at the very least. So
yeah,
but good on him. And that, of course, as always, leads us back into the A bracket, and we'll see where we're getting. It's
Militsa MARCAIGH and one TRIXIE ECLIPSE. Now Miss Militant got herself a nice, absolutely nice upset victory over the leader of the pack in Daniel ALARA. So let's see what she can do against TRIXIE ECLIPSE. TRIXIE a little bit middle of the pack in terms of their current win-loss record, but that's not the worst thing in the world considering the fact that, you know, TRIXIE is a new signee and they're getting their first look at some of these superstars for the first time in this tournament.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, and of course, you know, while TRIXIE only have 20 points, so 4 victories across the board here. Melissa just one match behind her with 15. So they are relatively even in terms of kind of mid to mid-lower part of the ranking here in the league. So this should be a pretty evenly matched match, I would say. I would be shocked if it wasn't, let's put it that way. So yeah, let's see who comes out on top on this one.
Say what you will about True. You gotta love their songs. Telling you to do what you want.
I'm glad the sound guy found this one.
I'm not gonna lie, the first time I heard that song, I thought the lyrics were in Japanese. It takes you a while to train your ear for it. That's why I like some of these. That's why I like some of these instant things without lyrics. So I don't have to sit there and focus and think about my, big thoughts.
And it's just hype.
Fight. Now, Miss Militant, the very punchy, kicky, somewhat submitty style of wrestler that, again, just got ourselves 3 wins on this particular league, but still doing a pretty decent job considering the fact that she didn't really have the biggest prospects going into this.
No, and it's one of those things where Miss Militant continues to be sort of an interesting one because of her style, because of how she wrestles, which is more of that kind of hybrid MMA style. She can kind of get under the fingernails, so to speak, of particular wrestlers, whereas ones that you would think would be relatively easy matchups against just about anybody else, she tends to have problems with. You know, it's kind of telling that one of the first, major victories that she pretty much had in the league was against the pack leader in Daniel. You know, that's kind of seems to be sort of her way of just, you think, you know, oh, well, maybe she's not as good as everyone thinks she is. And then she walks out and shocks everybody with a victory against someone that you would think would be vastly outclassing her. So,
yeah, true indeed. Like, when it comes down to her, you got to believe that whenever she does get a win, it's never a fluke victory. It's because she definitely did the studying and the training and found a way to match up her particular skill sets against the skill sets of the other wrestlers. Now, as for TRIXIE ECLIPSE, they got themselves like a bigger, stronger body, but surprisingly fitting the more junior style of wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, not as much sort of MMA style, though you can kind of see a little bit of it. We saw a little bit of it earlier with TRIXIE when they were countering some of Miss Militant's moves here. But for the most part, yeah, you can see, as they're putting off right now, a little bit more of that cocky, sort of high-flying style.
Kind of hard to be cocky when you catch a soul to the face.
Yeah, well, there is that, yes. You know, you can only be so cocky when Miss Militant's on the board, because she's really not going to let you be cocky for too long.
Yeah, what I like to think is, like, she's like a wrestling stepmother. You may hate her, but you will respect her.
That is true.
Right there to an STF. That chokehold pulling up on the chin of TRIXIE ECLIPSE, but they managed to get out of it as quickly as possible. But then catching those rapid fire kicks right to the chest. Yeah, Miss Militant is definitely one of those people that you do not want to let get any momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, once she kind of gets on a roll, it may be a little too late for you already.
Yeah, but right now, whatever TRIXIE is doing is definitely exhausting Miss Militant a little bit more. Sucking wind, but like still managing to put TRIXIE into a lot of these little stretches and holds right now. Kind of hard to catch your breath when your opponent keeps getting back up as quickly as possible, as like TRIXIE's doing.
Yeah.
Missed the punch, but catches that straight right there, countering pull down.
Big slam into it's kind of a sitting choke.
Yeah, that is a disqualification move. Yep. Right to the airplane spin, showing shades of the old school, just like we did with we see with Mother Russia and Takashi Tamura.
Mm-hmm. Airplane spin, a favorite move of a good deal of OWO wrestlers, actually.
Just twisting and going right after the fingers makes it a little bit harder if you can't manage to wrench your arms back. If your arm is compromised, kind of hard to put those submission moves into place.
Kind of hard to do some strikes as well, so that might be the thought process as TRIXIE gets tagged once again by a couple of those straights.
Both missing strikes right there. Once again, TRIXIE taunting Miss Militant right into the. If they call it tranquilo, I don't know what that would be called. That standing European headlock is definitely going to be wearing TRIXIE down a lot. Oh, that suplex sending Miss Militant to the outside.
Almost onto that, like, kind of dangerously scraping the side of that entrance ramp, or entrance platform, I should say. Militant taking the time, just like Prince Rivera, outside to catch her breath. She has till 20. Let's see how long she actually does take.
Taking the full 15. I don't know whoever wins on that. We probably need to have somebody, some statistician or somebody in Elias Sports Booking determine like what happens whenever somebody takes the full 10 to 15 seconds on the outside willingly. Like, do they find themselves in a better position or worse position, or is it just kind of neutral? Like, what's the story behind the strategy in that?
Yeah, I'm sure someone who does it has to have that strategy somewhere. You know, looking into it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it, I would assume. But you're right. I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically what happens in the NFL whenever you see coaches choose not to punt at the 40-yard line, instead just go for it. They figure, they're putting themselves in the same position. Maybe it's the same thing when it comes down to staying on the outside. You're still in the same position whether you go in immediately or catch your breath.
Yeah, or to use another football kind of term here, how effective it is to ice the kicker.
Exactly. This Military right into a figure four, then catches a rolling knee bar from Trixie. We're seeing a surprising amount of submissions. Usually Miss Militant's just going for those straight.
Oh, well.
Just like that right there.
Yeah.
Oh! That massive snoop boop of a straight. Oh, near fall right there.
Near
16
fall.
minutes in.
60 minutes in. We may just be seeing a Miss Militant victory here by submission. She has Trixie really locked in there.
Rolling the shoulders on that first strike.
Oh.
Catching with the combination. Go for the pinfall. Hook of the leg.
Oh, another near fall.
Right there. 17 minutes in. This Militant doing the smart thing. Catching the breath.
Good
Once
Lord.
again, the combination. Hook of the leg. 1, 2.
2.
No near fall on that one.
Not even a near fall.
Oh, that spinning backdrop. Cocky pin.
Cocky pin gets a 2 as well. I called it.
Maybe if they would have gotten an actual pinfall out of that one, hook of the leg, something.
No,
that might have
cocky
been a 3
again.
count.
No, still just 2. You're right. That cocky pin may have been a little bit too much, but I dare to say I called it at the beginning that this would probably be a pretty evenly matched matchup here, and I think if nothing else, we're seeing that here. 18 minutes in, and we both competitors here pretty damn close to each other in terms of who could win or lose. Sprawl out.
Pin down. Trixie rolls out of it, and once again snapping at those fingers in the arm. Just that whole right arm is turned dead. Oh, jumping brainbuster, but Miss Milton's up.
Miss Milton's up quick. Back fist. Calls for something off the ropes. Nice strong straight there.
Oh, no, Trixie's right under the ropes, but Miss
Right
Milton
under
is
the
holding.
ropes.
She's got to the count of 5. Oh, that's spinning back fist. Now these are closed fists. This is a disqualification if she goes to the count. They go to the count of 5.
Yeah, both members now. Oh, is this gonna be small package? Yep, small package driver. 2. No.
Oh, Miss Milton kicks right out of it.
Oh, big right hand there.
Right to a figure
Throwing
4.
into the figure 4. Calling for. Oh, I see. I was wondering what Bruce was calling there. I think what it was.
Tapped immediately.
She had tapped immediately, and Miss Milton was holding on to it. A little bit of a confusion there at the end, but yeah, we are getting confirmation from Bruce that was what happened. He basically saw the tap, or maybe a verbal submission even, immediately, and then was calling for the DQ after that. So
we're definitely going to have to take a look at the tape on that one just to double check to make sure that there's no signals crossed. We don't want there to be some level of shenanigans going on here. We do not want this to be like a Montreal screw job where Trixie did not actually verbally submit or tap out. So we're definitely going to have to take a look at that. But I know that Philadelphia's Bruce and his decisions are above reproach, but, you know, we definitely got to make sure that we are, as you know, as my folks would say, we're definitely, you know, CYA covering our asses.
yeah, it's yeah, I would say it was a damn close match. I could have seen it go either way. So yeah, I think it is good to cover your ass on this one. But I, you know, like I said, got confirmation over the headset. Bruce is saying that Trixie did. I believe he is confirming a verbal submission, which is the reason why it was a little hard to see on the monitors there. But afterwards, Melissa was maybe either did not hear herself or was just kind of throwing it in a little bit further than we would have liked her to do, which is why Bruce started the DQ count even after the match technically was over, just to make sure that she got off of Trixie, which, you know, I respect Bruce for. We've seen a lot of people go for stuff after the match was already over, and it's hard to kind of break that up, but that's a solid way of doing so. But yeah, either way, definitely. For the books, This would be a victory for MILITSA MARCAIGH, which means that TRIXIE and MILITSA are tied at 20 score, neither one of which is going to walk away with a victory in A block, but definitely a victory worthy of the books. So, all right, which leads us back into B bracket here. Let's see what sort of matchup we are going to get here. We are going to get Martin Valentine and Andre Tyson.
Now, these two are, I want to say, not a disappointment, but this is not what I had expected for them going into this match. Andre Tyson basically getting the Prince Rivera treatment, but this is just more a matter of matchups when it comes down to him. He's really just a submission guy, and you know, having that level of skill and ability is great when it comes down to a non-league setting. But after a while, once everybody figures out your game plan and they can game plan for you, you know, in successive matches, it's a little bit harder for you to find your way in. Martin Valentine started off impressing the whole field, going 30 freaking minutes in the first match, going 30 minutes twice in this particular league. But the record will not reflect that level of ability and heart that we usually get from him.
Yeah. Sadly, he even in that 30-minute match that I still think is probably up there in the running, in my opinion, for still sort of match of the year type of contendership against Jeff Su in that first kind of matchup that they had together. You know, it's one of those things where they may have had a match of the year here, but Martin Valentine not having the league of the year, kind of still down at the bottom rankings for B bracket. He too is almost certainly out of the running here alongside Andre Tyson. So kind of the best that they could do now is to show off their talent and hope that leads into better things outside of the league. But should be an interesting matchup between the two of them either way. So let's get this thing going.
Now, I definitely see Noms over there at ringside. I hope he's been enjoying this league, seeing what, you know, actual capable wrestlers can do. Because this match could go 30 minutes. This is one time that I can agree with them. This could go 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility.
Two-door coupe popping out like Jack in the Box. I'm gonna with the sturdies on that I got. Time's up, got my points up, my bars up. So we find them, we gon' slide.
Andre Tyson from Philadelphia, PA, definitely has the hard-nosed mindset when it comes down to the wrestling ring. Not one to easily put away, even though that record, once again, that 2-7 record does not reflect the ability and the heart that he has.
Sure. It's one of those things where 2-7 means he hasn't had necessarily the offense to put people away, but I think he is a pretty good fighter in terms of his defensive capabilities. He's never really had a match that he, in my opinion, has lost, you know, too quickly or to the wrong move or something like that. He's shown off the fact that he can at least hang with people in kind of the higher echelon of TCW and TWF, but just hasn't had the wherewithal to kind of put 2 and 2 together and get the victories required for this league.
Oh, yes, indeed. And what a lot of people don't know is once this league starts, there is no chance to go to the lab and retool your offense, retool your game plan. All you really got is what you came in with. We basically have everybody at a dorm, closed doors, making sure that there is minimal, if any, outside influence. We want this to be a pure competition for where these wrestlers are right now. Not for how they may be able to adapt later on, but where you are at right this very second, at your best, at your prime.
Yeah, it's you know, they do have gym facilities and so on and so forth to maintain the weight, maintain their strength. But outside of that, you're right. You're pretty much thinking mostly, how am I going to beat the next person? You're not necessarily thinking about, you know, I'm going to add something to my repertoire. It's not really the time frame or the situation to do so. Because of course, theoretically, it could come out and you could surprise the opponent, could get a nice victory out of that. But more than likely, you're going to be coming out with a new move that you haven't tried before, and you're going to just kind of flop and crash and burn. So we haven't really seen that from any wrestler, and I don't necessarily blame them.
Yeah, Andre Tyson is definitely not relenting when it comes down to his offensive capability. You know, already going for the Oshigoroshi, going for that knockout elbow strike to the back of the neck. He's throwing haymakers right now. He's doing whatever he can. Martin Valentine, on the other hand, is trying to be as sneaky and sly and cunning as he possibly can, going for those quick pinfall maneuvers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty classic early Martin Valentine match. Going for things like the back slides, going for those kind of tricky go-behinds and things like that.
Managing to get the big guy Tyson up for that suplex.
Yeah, you can see that took a lot out of him.
Oh yeah, definitely took a lot out of him. And right there, that hammerlock headlock. Oh, immediate inside cradle. And one of the quickest ways to slow down a fast opponent, go right for the legs. Quick man can't run. He can't run away from you. You can't walk circles around you. Martin Valentine with a nice DDT kick right to the inside of the leg. Now look, I think somebody's already busted open.
Yeah, it looks almost like Martin Valentine might be. I'm not entirely sure what hit him sort of the hard way there, but you can see he may have a small cut above his eye there.
That's what it's looking like. Surprising. Now, getting bloody does not mean that you're going to end up with a loss. It just means that, you know, their sense of urgency has increased tenfold. The last thing you want to do is show blood in the water, because a lot of these wrestlers are like sharks. They will go and hone in on any advantage that they can get, whether it's an injury or a cut or abrasion like this. He's going to go for those headshots as much as he possibly can. Andre Tyson will.
Yeah. Yeah, and even without going directly for the injury, because, you know, some people either, for one reason or another, don't want to switch up their game plan in that way, but even if you don't go for the injury is definitely going to be on the mind of whoever receives it. You're going to have blood over the eye, you're going to be kind of dealing with the pain of it and things like that, so it's definitely a negative to the person who receives it, regardless of whether or not the opponent takes advantage or not.
Oh, true indeed, true indeed. It's harder to block when you got blood pouring down your eye and obscuring your vision. Right now, though, another headlock, hammerlock. Martin managing to work out of it. Dueling drop kicks, both miss. But a lariat does it. Nice move by Martin Valentine, right to an elbow drop. Yeah, Martin is definitely ramping up his offense a little bit more right now. He is not happy that he's been bleeding crimson. Right there, that cross arm breaker. We're hitting the 12-minute mark. Andre Tyson is exhausted. Martin Valentine is bleeding, and they're striking each other in the middle of the ring. Martin gets the win.
Gets the win, but takes time to catch his own breath. He doesn't appear to be quite as winded as Andre, which doesn't surprise me. He is, of course, after all, the 30-minute man. For better or worse, he has been able to do 30-minute matches going to that buzzer. So his stamina is not something that I think is really in question here. But it's mostly just how long can he withstand Andre Tyson's offense, especially with an open wound.
Just like you said, Andre Tyson is not going after that open wound. He's sticking with a lot of his offense, going towards the lower extremities, the legs, doing whatever he can to leave Martin Valentine on wobbly legs. Gets him up that Green Bay plunge near the corner. And going for the fall of man.
Oh,
it's over.
And that is over. That, I have to say, that fall of man is starting to become a pretty damn dangerous move in its own right. I don't think we've seen, outside of the likes of something like SAPP and a handful of other, a finishing move that actually does finish people off as effectively as that one does. Valentine doesn't pull it off, you know, quite as much as, or quite as quickly, I should say, as SAPP does, but when he does, it is normally very, very effective.
Jesus Christ, that fall of man. You gotta believe that was a sense of urgency that made him pull that move off as quickly as he did.
Oh yeah, I would say that you're probably correct. He probably was sitting there wanting to protect his kind of honor. I don't want to say honor, but the wins that he has had. Day-to-day is a good one, yeah. It kind of is the wins that he has had during this league. He wants to protect that. He wants to protect his good name going out of this league. And I have a feeling that, yeah, he was that was a pretty close match in between the two of them. Up until that point, he wanted to make sure that it was not close at all anymore. And, well, damn if he didn't. So, 14 minutes, KO from the Fallen Man, Martin Valentine, getting another victory to his name, and well earned for the 30-minute man, or 14-minute man in this particular case. So, means, of course, we're going back to the A bracket with... Oh.
This is interesting.
ENYO versus KATYA VLCEK. At this point, I would say ENYO, fortunately, has not had the best of leagues here. Kind of shockingly so, had a pretty decent run with Zayn as tag partners. Got into this league with, I wouldn't say the highest of hopes, but I would have expected her to be, at the very least, kind of middling tier. I would have seen her more up along the lines of a TRIXIE or a MILITSA in terms of the score, but just for some reason has not been able to put 2 and 2 together in this particular league. So really can only be a spoiler at this point for anyone else that she goes up against. Whereas KATYA VLCEK still in contention for that top spot. I don't know how close she is necessarily to getting it, but with the victory over ENYO, she's going to be one step closer to that. I'm not saying that's necessarily a gimme, but well, definitely I would say the betting averages are sitting against ENYO, and I can't necessarily blame them.
Yeah, true indeed. This is one of those things where, again, we say wrestling on your laurels will lose you a championship. You can't look past your opponent, the one that you have right in front of you. So I definitely don't see KATYA VLCEK going that route when it comes down to ENYO. Don't at this point in time, you better not look at the scores of your opponent unless you're going up against somebody who was definitely about to be the one that takes the top spot and the top prize for this league.
Yeah. So, and KATYA kind of is in that position right now, tied with Alicia. I think is only 5 away from pretty much the top spot. So, like I said, if she gets that victory, while she may not necessarily have the same wins losses, she would have the same score on the board as of this moment as some of the top people in a bracket. So, yeah, definitely in that contendership. So let's see if she can hold on to that and get a victory over ENYO.
And here comes the sound of Mother Russia.
Yep. Classic Cossack song.
Asking, are you ready? I don't think ENYO is ready for KATYA, but she's still managing to come down to the ring doing whatever she can to play spoiler.
Yeah, Sally singing a not very good 1-8 record here. Like I said, just not really able to put 2 and 2 together.
Fight!
Yeah, when you're playing with somebody this much stronger and bigger than you are, you definitely got to try to avoid their power game and do whatever you can to play your game. Right now, going for quick pins definitely is a smart move for ENYO. Going for those quick strikes with that kickboxing background, a very smart move. But you don't want to get bogged down in the details. Just stick with the vagaries of your game plan.
Yeah, this is not really the matchup or the particular place to, as we kind of mentioned in that last match, to try out any sort of new tactics, to try your new game plan out. Even with the record that she has, she pretty much has to walk in with the sort of the army that she started the war with, so to speak.
Yeah, see, it's one of the things that happens over the course of an entire season versus over the course of the league. Like, KATYA already has her game plan. She's coming in with the power drain. ENYO, on the other hand, will probably try to find some way to implement a different part of her game plan. Maybe tweak how she goes for her kicks and when she goes for them, in fact. This time it's a little bit harder to do because, as you said, all you have is just yourself. You do not have coaches and managers and an entourage or or a lot of footage to try to tweak your game with. Nobody that you can congregate with. It's just you. It's just, as you put it, the army that you came into the fight with.
Yeah. Yeah, or in ENYO's case, you don't even have your regular tag partner, who I'm sure she, we call him the Gremlin, we kind of make fun of him, but Zane, has been known as a pretty decent strategist in his own right, so probably helped her out in a couple of different ways there. Ooh.
Certainly going for those strong kicks right about now. Going for that roll-up GTS, that black mass. Definitely wearing down Katya. I don't know, maybe ENYO has the game plan to beat Katya.
It's possible.
This might be one of those situations like with Daniel and Miss Militant, where just the quick strikes might do it.
Yeah, ENYO might just have the sort of the key to Katya's lock, so to speak, in terms of just not having her particular kind of weakness. We'll have to see. Big spear by Katya. Katya definitely not going down without a fight, as we'd suspect.
Very tight jackknife cover on that one. Stacking her up. Only getting a one count out of that.
Oh, dodging the lariat.
Yeah, and then right again, those machine gun kicks, but Katya's like, hey, I can kick strong too.
Yeah.
Reversal.
Oh, that didn't miss.
That time. Yeah, now here comes the power game of Katya. Lariat after lariat, headlocks. Those striking kicks with me. Oh, slicing in there, twisting the legs up like a pretzel.
Oh, another big kick though. And we might be looking at a low angle lariat.
Last year, oh, right there, the back of the head going right across the knee. Now, the last time we saw Katya, it was a figure four jackknife one, just a one count. Last time we saw Katya, it was a bear hug that ended her opponent. We might see the same.
Yeah, well, one for a pin. Ooh.
Oh,
9 minutes in, right there. Near fall already. I don't necessarily. Oh,
there goes Philadelphia's Bruce.
Bruce, no. That seemed like an accident. I can't necessarily tell when it's Katya, though.
She's not exactly the kind of person I would see intensely going for the ref, but then again, who knows when it comes down to Katya?
Yeah. She can be a little bit of a little sly, but yeah, not normally the type to go for those intentional hits. Oh, and he was surviving the bear hug this time around at the very least. Katya maybe calling for it again.
Bear hug. Maybe call.
Oh no!
Skull crusher finale.
He was calling for hold after hold. Headbutt here.
Simple headbutt. Oh, but ENYO finally manages to break the string of offense. Goes right up for a running stomp. Irish whip into the ropes.
Oh.
But Katya keeps on checking every single kick that ENYO was going for. She's not really allowing her to get any string of offense going off of those kicks.
Yeah, this is what I'm kind of telling about when it comes to not necessarily being able to put 2 and 2 together. Oh, well, that one worked.
Roundhouse kick right across the bridge of the nose.
Back up at around the same time. But ENYO definitely has a little bit of the offense, a little bit of the momentum here.
ENYO definitely going from offense to offense, strike to strike, move to move. Sometimes it's all you can do. You got to put a string of moves together, and you might end up finding yourself in a better position. Right now, it's about outlasting Katya. Katya's definitely sucking wind the deeper into this match they go.
Yeah, Katya kind of very similar to someone like a Karen Bishop, someone like that, where the standard kind of powerhouse. They give it their all really early on, but you can only really do that for so long before that starts to backfire. And that might be ENYO's game plan. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to see.
Those kicks right to the chest.
Rodeo stretch. Into the corner, trio woe.
Kicks right to the legs into the midsection.
Nasty kicks, so it gets right back up into that Russian hook combination into a bear hug. And that's it. And there we have it. Can't say I'm terribly surprised in terms of the victor here. Just like I said, it's I'm sure anyone who bet on that one is happy. The person who was supposed to win kind of won that one, but at the same time, ENYO once again showing off that she does have the offense to stay with her for a little bit, but just can't put 2 and 2 together. Which, of course, leads us back into B bracket here with the home.
Darrell Dunn versus Li Zhu.
Interesting one. Not one that I was really thinking about too much, but now that it's right in front of me, it should be an interesting one. Li Zhu, again, I think pretty much mostly a spoiler at this point. Dunn, if he wins, might still be in the ranking to be one of the top guys in this, but is currently, I think, a little bit behind some of his contemporaries. But
right now, what it is you have Jacob Sapp with only 1 loss, but then you have Cameron Chapman, Jeff Su, Franco Silva, and currently Darrell Dunn with 2 losses. So right now, they're all chasing after Sapp. So he's got to run the table before this whole bracket is done. So going up against Li Zhu, she is no slouch with 25 points, 5 victories under her belt to Dunn 7. This is no easy feat right now.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. You have, if Li Zhu managed to come out on top with this particular one, could be pretty much the end of Dunn's league moment here, which would be interesting, of course, considering he is currently the TCW champion. So, but yeah, we'll have to see how this goes.
With that belt right around his waist, he is what he likes to call himself, the Chief.
Yeah, he's walking out here definitely. Was one of the 2 people in this league. Was the B bracket champion, so coming in here, not even necessarily with the qualifier, was a guaranteed entrant.
And we got to let everything shut down. Making a pledge to the fallen, Li Zhu, and like the rest of the fallen, definitely have plans to try to just like so far everybody but Gabriel Blackwell right now is doing an impressive job in this whole particular faction.
Oh yeah, Franco Silva, the leader, has had a couple of high-profile losses, but is still sitting pretty at 30 points in the league. At this point, I think he's pretty much out of the running in terms of actually getting to the top of the league. But he's going to be a solid, second place or maybe third place, depending on how the rest of his league goes, contender. Li Zhu kind of right behind him there with a sort of 3rd to 4th place at 25. And of course, Jeff Su with 40, one of the people that might be looking at winning the whole thing, depending on how things go.
As you said, this is an interesting matchup because these 2 have pretty much a similar fighting style when it comes down to their offense. Li Zhu definitely a little bit more rough, but definitely a great striker. Darrell Dunn may not be the biggest striker, but that knee right across the dome might set the tone.
Yeah, might indeed.
Now, what it comes down to Dunn is he is also a good mat wrestler. Here it comes, snapping the arm right there to that triangle lock. Oh, pulling him down right there to an attempted Kimura lock. And again. Just preventing him from getting any momentum. Right now, Li Zhu trying to do whatever she can to maintain control right now.
Yeah, doing anything she can to kind of keep away from Dunn's most effective offense here, while at the same time throwing in that ground game that she's relatively famous for, throwing in those kind of sneaky strikes that she's famous for.
Yeah, right now they're both filling each other out. Neither party going for anything major or big at the moment. Right now, it's all just about putting in as much work as you possibly can.
Yep, putting in the ground game, counters, yeah, takedowns. Oh,
yeah, right there to the floor.
Yeah. Once again, looking at counters.
Oh no!
Strikes to the back of the head. Definitely enough to keep Liu Shu from countering that one in particular. Oh,
and going from hold to hold, right back to that European headlock, and once again another counter.
She goes to the ropes. Liu Shu capitalizing with a little bit of offense here, but right back into that hold.
Oh, right there to a feet trigger.
Going to a feet trigger. Oh, double knees. And then an elevated single leg Boston Crab. Still too close to the ropes.
Just a string of offense right there for Dunn. Yeah, unlike Sue, stomps.
Yeah.
Technically a submission move.
Technically, if you wanted to say, please stop in the middle of that, the only way to do it is by forfeiting the match.
Oh, knee right to the back. But again, never sleep on Liu Shu's striking game, and even her own submission game, going right there for that snapping armbar.
Oh, nasty little combination of strikes there by Darrell Dunn. Rolling Liu Shu up for a solid 2 count. 10 minutes in. Third of the way through this particular matchup.
Goes right through, right there to that arm wrench.
Oh! Dangerous DDT, throwing him into a pinning situation. Just a 2 count.
Trying to go with that. Another nice combination. How do you stop his offense?
Yeah, at this point, I would say
it's Dragon Suplex.
Liu Shu also trying to think of that. Oh, modified Koji clutch. Doesn't quite get it for too long, but nicely done all the same. Big headbutt. Maintains the momentum. A little bit of
another one.
Tricky Dicky offense.
Literal Tricky Dicky offense. Oh, the face stomp. And that's it.
And that's it. Like I said, if you want to stop, you have to forfeit the match, and that is, unfortunately, precisely what happened. Darrell Dunn maintaining his offense here, maintaining his winnings to maintain himself on top of the B block board. We did not see what we might have potentially seen in that match, which of course would have been a spoiler. Getting Darrell Dunn out of the top running. He said, "Nope, I'm still in it. Still in that kind of 5-way tie sort of situation. We're still awaiting, of course, the match that will potentially change all of that. Jeff Sue versus Jacob Sapp. So we shall see. But in the meantime, we will be moving back to the A bracket, and we will see. Well, this is an interesting one. Of course, anything to do with Daniel at this point theoretically could knock him out of top contendership if he gets a loss against just about anybody at this point, considering he is pretty much tied with a number of different people here. KATYA with the same amount of points, although I think is maybe one behind in terms of losses. Although I could be wrong about that. Either way, he is fighting for his top spot still and going against somebody here in Takashi, who is a former OWO champion, something Daniel weirdly can't actually say for himself yet. could be, even though his league has not been the absolute best, Takashi's still a respectable win-loss record here in the league. He could very well, just like Lizu in the former match, he could be walking in as a spoiler here. So we shall see. I'm just crying out from the sideline that Daniel's about to murder our grandpa. I don't know about that much. I would hope not.
I mean, we can't do murder. No murder. No murder.
Yeah, let's not go that far. Daniel and Sapp both have gotten pretty damn close, I realize, but thankfully have not crossed that line yet.
Takashi coming out with his Jaguar head. One of the more dangerous moves out there in not just the league, but in either promotion is the Wrath of the Shogun?
Wrath of the Shogun, yeah. It's just sort of like it's just kind of like Sapp's move and things like that. Not quite as powerful as Sapp's move. There have been people who have kicked out of it on the regular, but the difference between Sapp's move and Wrath of the Shogun is Wrath of the Shogun could kind of come out seemingly at whatever time Takashi wills it, and he's done it a number of times in a row. So
basically, if you don't kick out on number one, you don't kick out on number two, you will you'll succumb to the pin on number three.
Yeah. He's not against throwing it out 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row, just kind of making sure that it eventually hits its mark. So
how did he get the sign in here? We are a respectable organization. You know what? As long as he doesn't have that title belt, he can keep the damn sign.
I know. At the moment he's not champion. So
Daniel's definitely taking a full count of that count to the outside, doing whatever he can. It's early on, so I don't understand the reasoning behind it. Not really changing up the momentum because Takashi hasn't really gotten the rhythm just yet, but it's to piss him off.
Once again, I think it's kind of that sort of same theory as icing the kicker. You walk out, you kill the momentum there for 12 seconds. Is that going to throw off any sort of groove that Takashi might have been in? Is it going to throw off his game plan? Who knows? At the very least, that seems to be Daniel's thought process. Whether or not it's successful or not, we'll have to see.
Oh, stopping a mud hole and walking it dry right there on Daniel ALARA in the corner. Goes back to driving his forearm right against the shaft, the jawline.
Yep. Iron claw there on the floor. Gets in for just a moment. Ooh.
That two-piece combo from Daniel ALARA. You don't really know him too much to be a pugilist, but he is a pretty decent and avid striker when it comes down to it. Maybe not the same extent of the members of the Fallen or even the rest of True, but I would not want to be on the business end of a punch of his, or the business end of that spine buster right there from Takashi Tamura.
Or that lariat, yeah. No, Daniel's sort of the type of guy who, he may not necessarily have the same amount of strength behind his punches, but he's going to give you as much knuckle as possible. And yeah, it's going to hurt.
Right there, that eye rake. I think that 12-second time that he took out was really just meant to denigrate Takashi, because like Takashi is from the old school. He definitely believes in a certain level of honor and tradition when it comes down to the wrestling ring, and Daniel ALARA basically flies in the face of that. So do many members of True.
Yeah, True is not exactly the old school, the tradition, things like that. Takashi every now and again has been known to maybe lose his temper a little bit, pull weapons, things like that. As Noms does point out, he did pull a sledgehammer out on his opponent last match. But it's still, it's one of those things where he really only seems to do that against Matt in kind of the certain circumstances.
Well, we might end up seeing a sledgehammer come out now, because after that fork to the back of the head, Takashi is bleeding.
Yeah, and I don't know if anyone could necessarily blame him if he went for a weapon at this point.
I mean, I would never blame it if he wanted to pull out a weapon when it comes down to Daniel Lara anyway.
Yeah.
Leading or not.
Oh, yeah, missed that big Yakuza kick into the corner there, but still kind of holding on to momentum, at least for the short term here.
Oh, kind of hard to do that when somebody kicks you in the ding-ding.
Oh.
Elbow right to the dome again. Takashi bleeding profusely. Right into the kitchen sink.
Yeah, that fork seemed
lariat to the back of the head.
That fork seemed to do more work than I think we were necessarily thinking at first. Still only getting 1 counts though, although somewhat cocky pin there. Stretch
muffler right there near the corner. Definitely causing a lot of tension along the line of the, right there to a sidewalk slam. As we said, that old school mentality, that traditional wrestling style. We haven't seen too many people just rock a sidewalk slam.
Yeah. Oh, nice little lovely cutter there from Daniel. Oh, getting that step up Shote. It's a 2 count.
A 2 count.
Uh-oh, Daniel's looking a little worse for wear at this point. Seems like both the competitors are have been giving it their all, for better or worse.
13 minutes in, and Daniel's already gassed. But I mean, you take too many kicks right to the lower extremities right there, like Takashi does, you're definitely going to end up gassed yourself.
Yeah, we saw he was kind of sucking wind too. It's not just one of them at this point.
Yeah, one of them though has that running spear,
big spear.
As I was saying, running. One of them has the benefit of, getting busted open to sort of be the excuse, and Daniel is definitely focusing on it, just like we saw with the Martin Valentine Andre Tyson match. Andre didn't go for these particular injuries, but Daniel has no qualms with raking in the eyes, and
sure enough, goes in for that kind of torture leg hook, head right on that wound, and just kind of rakes it until it really can't be said that Takashi could sit there and take it any longer. We almost had that upset. I think it came closer than I think a lot of us really were thinking here. Takashi doing damn well against that top seed Daniel here. But sadly, for those who do not want to see Daniel at that top position, Daniel maintaining it for right now.
At least for right now.
At least right now. Yeah, it's one of those things where he still has competition. Like I said, if he lost his match, he may have been completely out of it. But holding on to his wins here, he is still the person to beat here in A block, in my opinion. Katya, like I said, getting damn close. If he had lost his match, he would have been, I think, 1 under Katya, or at the very least tied with Katya. So, but
on that note, I do have to ask for a brief intermission. I shall return.
Alrighty, we'll be going to a short break then, everybody. We'll come back in just a second. And we are back, and who's next is in fact the question. We are moving on to B bracket again, and it's Franco Silva versus Vinicius de Fiore. As I said, Silva not necessarily in the running here. Let's check his ranking while we are here.
Yeah, check the ranking. I think he's in the same spot. Yeah. Oh wait, he's not.
Silva not in the same spot. No, he is.
Wow.
He's at 30. He's at 30 points. He is a little bit lower than the kind of reigning folks at the top of the card here. I don't think he.
How many matches does he have left?
That's a good question too. Let's see.
That surprised my count. I must have been off.
Silva has
just 2.
Just like after this one, it'll be 2. It'll be against Karen and Li Zhu are the only ones that he has not had so far. So the best he can do here is 45, which means he is probably out of the running unless something goes really weird. So Franco Silva is sadly not in the same boat as his contemporary in Jeff Su, who is actually at 40 and is in that top ranking position. So
my count was off.
Yeah. But Vinicius de Fiore and Franco Silva both sitting pretty to at the very least look good coming out of this league. So here we are with what is going to definitely be an interesting clashing of styles, I would say, would be one way to look at the very least. So here we go.
Yeah, 6 and 3 from Franco Silva. I know I picked 2 of them with Jeff Sue and Cameron Chapman.
If I remember correctly, it was a bit of an odd one. We'll have to go back and see next time we get to a B bracket here.
VINICIUS de FIORE, the new hire over there at TCW at our facility, at 5 and 4. Definitely showing a good showing for his first time in official competition.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if he wins this matchup, he'll be walking out of at least this week, assuming he doesn't have isn't double booked. He'll be walking out of this week with the same win-loss record as Franco Silva, which is, not nothing to sneeze at. Yeah.
Right now, the game plan is definitely to keep Franco Silva away from you. It's really weird because Silva definitely has a particular fighting style that he definitely doesn't want to get into the grapples. He wants to focus on your strikes, and VINICIUS wants to stay away from those strikes, but he's got to get in on the offense, got to get in on the body to do whatever he can. And right there, a nice little combination. Right there, the combination.
Yeah, This is probably the absolute last thing VINICIUS wanted to feel there. Going in, just getting knocked around all over the place in terms of that sort of MMA style offense that had to hurt in about 600 different ways, and not a good way to start this matchup.
Yeah, definitely not. But as I said, once VINICIUS can find a way to get some momentum and get away from Silva, he might end up finding himself in a better position. Oh, that running kick right to the face. Right now, this is Silva's match to lose.
Definitely, yeah. Going right back into the ground game here. The simple Boston Crab.
Sometimes just don't match up well.
Yeah, but he seems to still want to kind of go toe-to-toe, at least this early on, which I agree with you is I think kind of a mistake, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and there he goes. I think when he figures out that he has this game in the bag, he is going to go and make his call to the Fallen. Oh, that punching combination, like, Jesus Christ. Some people just match up well against Franco Silva, and some just don't. And it looks like VINICIUS is in the latter category right now. Yeah, VINICIUS definitely is not getting himself in a good position.
No, this is kind of looking like a shades of matches that Franco's had, like against DARRELL DUNN and the like, where just Dunn's particular form of offense just does not compute well with Franco's, and everything that they attempt to do just kind of getting countered into progressively nastier and nastier movesets here.
Yeah, VINICIUS definitely has to find a way to step in and get some actual offense in, because his night might be coming to an end real quick. We're getting to the 8.5 minute mark. Oh, rolls through, but doesn't even get body on body with that.
Body, yeah. Well, nice little drop kick there at the very least.
Yeah, we kind of so this might be it. 1, 2. Oh, you're falling out of that one. 9 minutes, man. VINICIUS still has some heart.
Still has some heart, although it does kind of make me wonder exactly how much smart is in that heart. But going outside.
Oh, almost got WCW'd on that one.
Yeah, almost got WCW'd.
Oh, that captain's hook.
Yeah, nasty takedown into just kind of a running kick here. Vinicius trying to get some momentum back with a drop kick. Oh, and
Irish corner to the coat, but again,
briefly,
Silva has not had enough offense on him. He's not going to stay put. He's not going to stay down. He's not even going to go for the chin. Oh, that might be it.
That might be
One,
it.
Two. Oh!
Vinicius
is not giving up.
Vinicius is still in it. That's a little bit surprising, but as said, back and forth here, shades of his contemporary Josu. Oh, Vinicius is actually getting the top of it there.
Shooting star press.
Into the corner again. Silva just almost immediately coming out. Yeah.
Drop kick right there. This is to get him up off the ropes. Oh, tilt a whirl sling blade basically. Right to the tree of woe.
Tree of woe. Doing some low angle kicks there. Oh, and the corner goes Vinicius.
That back elbow right into the captain's hook.
They're going to have an attempt to catch his breath, though. I don't know. I don't think he was necessarily thinking Vinicius would go for this long. Standing moonsault.
Standing. Two count out for that.
Oh,
but that might do it.
That might be it. This might be the end of the dream, and it is. Vinicius getting in some good offense before the end, definitely showing off that he deserves to be where he is on both the rankings and his win-loss. But can't say the ending is surprising.
That 1-1-2-1-4 combination.
Also
goes jab, jab, straight, jab, hook.
Yeah, also known as just getting the shit beaten out of you.
Oh yeah, true enough. Like forget the technicalities. That's just getting the shit beat out of you.
Yeah. So as I said, well done by Vinicius for holding on for as long as he did, showing off some pretty surprising offense in there, but at the end, but just a little too late in there, as it was with people like Dunn against Silva. But moving back over to the A bracket, we have a match that I don't think at this point, sadly, will be for anything in particular. Neither one of them is kind of high up on the rankings, as sad as it is to say, because of course Bookman was leading for the longest time before having a little bit of a stumble kind of midway through the league here. But Lyndsay Barber and Bookman, I think a pair of crowd favorites to be sure. This and definitely two people who are going to give, I think, one hell of a match against each other here. So it should be definitely a fun one to watch, even if it is kind of spoiler against spoiler, so to speak here. So let's see how this goes.
Now, Lyndsay Barber did end up getting a really good showing against KINGATHAN Devlin. Matter of fact, getting a win out of it. Matter of fact, I believe last week KINGATHAN Devlin managed to beat the champion.
Yeah, he did. He managed to get that win off. Kind of a surprising one. It was kind of for Bookman at the very least, an unfortunate reversal of fortunes. You know, Bookman, like I said, starting this league off very strong, starting off as one of the top contenders against Daniel ALARA, but getting a handful of pretty important losses against a handful of people here in A bracket, knocking him down to actually the same score at the moment as Lyndsay Barber, as weird as that is to kind of see. So this is kind of the top guy falling down to the mid in the, what I would say probably an undercard who's turned into a fan favorite, who's managed to surprise people by actually getting up to the middle of the pack here. So at the very least, it should be interesting to see who walks away. Is it going to be the person who is the favorite of the league to begin with here with Bookman, Or is it going to be Lindsay Barber, sort of the black horse who turned out to be everyone's favorite just because she tends to go 200 miles an hour in her matches?
Yeah, Lindsay Barber can turn it on into a particular gear that you don't expect her to have, and then catching that power bomb and immediately goes up and counters the attempt to get any more offense in. Lindsay is technically your freelancer, I believe.
Lindsay is in fact a freelancer, one of two here, Bob Alden, of course, being the other one. So she is not actually technically an OWO wrestler, of course. That may all change after the league, but
matter of fact, I'm honestly surprised that on the last night of this league, I'd be surprised if you don't come out here with a contract for her to sign, because she's putting on a show. If you don't sign her, I will.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would say it's definitely in the works. You know, she's I would say she has probably just about anyone on both of our fronts. Any money that she wants, she's probably going to end up getting, because you're right, she has put in the work to show off in this league.
Right now, already Lindsay Barber a little bit exalted, but the flying head scissors might have woke her up.
Yeah. And of course, Nums is slightly correct. I do have her under contract to a certain degree. She's just a ref.
This is also true, yes. Lindsay Barber is one of your referees.
Yeah. So, just her current contract does not stipulate who she works for as a wrestler, but it does stipulate who she works for as a referee.
Oh, that Russian armbar right there. Nice move. Obscuring the line of sight from the ref and even the fans. A lot of people don't know that it's really tweaking and working on the shoulder and elbow joint.
Yeah, it's a nasty little bit of business. Trying another takedown here. A little bit of back and forth. Tries to go again. Once again, some back and forth.
Oh, nice kick already. Again,
kick.
Keep on trying to go that sprawl.
Oh, there we go. Lindsay finally managing to take it down after a couple kicks. Book and Lindsay Boo going back and forth on the ground there. But after a couple of kicks, Lindsay finally getting the better of the ground game. Although it doesn't seem to have helped her too much, as Book is once again in the momentum here.
Nice face buster, nice water wheel takedown by Lindsay though.
Yeah. Oh.
Right now they're going move for move.
Yeah, there we go. Lindsay back on the momentum here. Another water wheel takedown. Oh.
Bookman just running through whatever offense Lindsay had in mind.
Yeah. Showing off a little bit for the crowd. Kind of flipping around and moving Lindsay around a little bit. Might have taken a little bit too long, yeah. Couldn't really get locked in as much as I think he was hoping there. Oh, to the outside.
Oh, right to a boxer crab on the outside of the ring. There's no rope breaks on this one. You got 20 seconds to get back into the ring. He could have held it all the way up to 19 if he wanted to.
Yeah, it looks like Lindsay put a stop to that. And as we've seen, Lindsay, kind of a nasty outside fighter. Oh, coming back into that Russian hook combination, getting a little bit of WCW action, a little Trixie there.
Oh, snapping belly to belly suplex at the same time.
And are we going to see the people's elbow? We are. But, oh, people's elbow, but Lindsay gets up on top. That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Corner monkey flip.
Exchange the blows right there. Lindsay with the middle kicks. Bookman with the elbow part. Oh! That roundhouse kick right to the back of the head, but Bookman gets right back up.
Bookman's right back up. Oh! Huge lariat, but Lindsay's back up this time. Already back up and kicking. We'll take down again. Calls for something.
Oh, there you go. Samoan pop right there to the side V-lock.
Yeah, a little too close to the ropes there, but uh-oh. We have a little bit of a back and forth here. Oh, uno, dos, tres. Who will be getting up first? It's Lindsay, although dazed. Even dazed, she managed to pull it off. Man up first this time around, goes for a cover. It's just a 2. 0 punches. Once again. Reading Painbow, cover, and it's a 3. Yeah, well won victory there by Bookman. That could have been anyone's game. Lindsay putting in one hell of a fight. But Bookman getting in his kind of standard offense. Those combinations into that Reading Painbow at the end. But I would say if that Painbow did not work, it still probably could have been anyone's game. So well done to Lindsay as well. Seems that the fans agreed, walking out with a 4-star match by the critics and a 92 match evaluation from the fans. And can't argue with either one of those on my books.
Not at all. Not at all.
So, which of course means we are moving back to B bracket here. Which match we're going to get? Let's see. We are getting
no.
Not the Jacob Sapp match that I think we were all hoping for, but definitely one that might prove interesting. Martin Valentine, unfortunately, coming in with a double booked night with the second one against Jacob Sapp. I bet he's cursing whoever rolled the dice on this one to get him this particular night. But like I said, we've seen Martin Valentine do some crazy stuff before. It's entirely possible he could walk out and do something with Sapp. We can only hope, I guess.
I mean, that's all you got is hope. Martin Valentine, at least when it comes down to this particular bracket, has, let's just say, he has a tendency to start slow with his offense. And I don't know if that is something that he can survive when it comes to the likes of a Jacob Sapp out there, but I'm more than willing to find out and see myself. So let's just go ahead and give it a shot.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things where any match against Sapp at this point is going to be one to watch out for, because of course he is still the top contender here on B bracket. Anyone who beats him again here gets him his a third loss at this point, would definitely throw him down the rankings in potentially a permanent manner, depending on how everyone else that high up goes. So yeah, so if Martin gets a victory here, we could be seeing a tectonic shift across the entire B bracket. So one to watch regardless of who wins.
Definitely.
Noms once again coming in with some pretty good commentary of his own from ringside, of course, as he's he seems to have bought a ticket again from God knows who. But mentioning that this might have been why Martin was saving his energy in that first match, going for that critical instead of trying to go for the full 30 minutes.
Let's see if he has another one under his belt. Jacob Sapp is currently 8-1, and loss here puts him right back into the field of that 40-point victory right then and there. So it's time to see what happens.
Yeah, I misspoke when I said, of course, that Sapp would have gotten his third loss. This would only be his second loss. Hence the reason why it's such a big deal, because, of course, he is currently the only one in the league with only one loss to his name. So...
it's honestly a shame. If I could be, right now Martin Valentine is not able to get any kind of offense in right now. I'm just as focused as Martin is at the moment, because I need to see a Jacob Sapp loss in this particular instance. There is no way that he can be the one that comes out just like the definitive winner of B block.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things where it would be a shame to watch Sapp kind of walk his way through all the way to the end here. I don't know if Martin Valentine's the person to put him away, though. You know, I'm still kind of waiting for that Jeff Sue versus Sapp match. I don't know if Martin has, as you said, kind of the particular fighting style that would make Sapp weak. Granted, I did mention.
Oh, go ahead.
I did mention that Valentine's finishing move was up there with Sapp's in terms of when he does manage to get it out, how dangerous it potentially could be. So in that way, I suppose perhaps they're a bit more similar. But as you can see from who is currently being kicked in the head, I don't know.
Yeah, you can definitely see that Sapp did pay attention to the match before, going right after the already injured head of Martin Valentine, definitely opening up those stitches once again and leaving him crimson already less than 5 minutes in, and right there going right for the head.
Yeah, Sapp of course having absolutely no qualms at going for the injury, unlike Andre Tyson. So Martin really having to play to that unfortunate weakness from that first matchup. Back and forth. Neither one wanting to fall, but Martin eventually getting the 2-punch drunk. Only one count though.
Still pretty early on in right there, going for that headbutt. One of the things that that he does have an advantage of when it comes down to going up against Jacob Sapp is the fact that he has far more endurance than his much larger, much stronger opponent. The question is, can you outlast Jacob Sapp for that period of time? Let that matter.
Yeah, can you get past the 10-minute mark, the 15-minute mark, the 20-minute mark even? And of course, it's one of those things where we talk about endurance and Sapp. It is still kind of important to realize that both Martin and Sapp were both competitors in the only official draw in TWF history so far. That multi-man match that went to the buzzer with pretty much no real easy to mark out winner, and so the judge's decision was thrown out and it was considered a draw. But the fact that both of them were involved in it shows that Sapp can go longer than you would hope.
Oh, that finger snap right there from Sapp. 1,
Goes for
2.
a count. Get the 2. A little bit dangerous this early in for Martin.
He's also leaving a lot of blood on the mat right now, so you definitely got to believe that he's getting a little woozy, a little bit more lightheaded. Goes for the pin, doesn't get, just gets body on body right there, but eats a punch. Already, we're in bad territory when it comes down to Martin Valentine. So unless he finds some way to throw some offense in, right now using his speed as much as he can. Oh, diving lariat.
Yeah, a little lariat there. Yeah, I think that those kind of little bit fixture moves from Valentine is definitely going to be the types of things that he needs to do more of, because that's, I think, kind of throwing Sapp's off his game. Oh, especially when you can do something like this.
That might be it.
That's definitely going to be it. Yeah. As I said, Martin was not the man I was looking for. If we're going to see Sapp
with this move,
if we're going to see Sapp get the victory or get a loss here, I think it's going to have to be against Jeff Su.
That cross on fire powerbomb is just way too overpowered at the moment.
It's definitely served Sapp well. So yeah, as I said, Martin was not the one who I don't think his offense was the right match for him. So just and of course did have that first matchup. As quick as he managed to put away Hunter Tyson, you're right, he walked away unfortunately with an injury to his head, and Sapp is not the person to go up against when you have that level of kind of a weakness from the first matchup. So I think Sapp got kind of handed an easy thing to exploit in that match, and he ran with it. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing a 9-minute or about 10-minute victory on Sapp's case here.
Honestly, this is the second time this has happened for Jacob Sapp, and I don't know if it's the luck of the draw or if somebody is greasing palms in the right way. Who knows? Because he had the same kind of situation with Karen Bishop, who put up probably one of her best matches when it comes down to this bracket in a losing effort against Jacob Sapp. But in doing so, exposed the fact that he does not have the biggest gas tank in this particular league, let alone in this federation. And that was Karen on her second match of the night. Same thing for Martin Valentine. Martin on his second match of the night, already with some battle wounds from his match with Andre Tyson. Still don't know how he managed to get busted open on that match, but that's neither here nor there. For this particular one, though, it's definitely a wonder if Jacob is getting bailed out by luck or by, hook or crook at this moment, going up multiple times against people who already had a match.
Yeah. Well, the first one was especially a little bit suspect, considering it was not actually that Karen Bishop match was not actually officially on the card for that particular day. That was one of those where he kind of forced his entry into it. So that one you could definitely consider as a maybe sweetening palms, or maybe just kind of intimidating whoever it was that was supposed to come out in such a way that that he would manage to get that easier victory or easier matchup against Karen Bishop than he otherwise would have. But this one, we're getting confirmation that this one was actually on the cards, so he would have had to have done something prior to today. Not necessarily saying he couldn't have, but not as obvious of a screw job, I guess, against Martin. So he at the very least did not do anything specifically once he saw that he had an open wound against Andre Tyson. So, but yeah, no, just walking out here with yet another victory. So, like I said, we're kind of banking on Jeff Su as the one to save us here from a potential sapped B bracket here. So, but in the meantime, moving back to A bracket here. Oh,
another double duty.
Another double duty. We see him every now and again because, of course, we have a kind of an odd bracket on either side here with 13. So MILITSA getting the unluck of the draw here against Bob Alden. Kind of hard to say what I really feel about this particular match. Bob Alden has done pretty well throughout this entire matchup. We've already talked about MILITSA and kind of her, victories and foibles here. Neither one of which are, really going to reach the end of A bracket here with any sort of chance at getting the final victory, but both should put on a decent match against each other, if a bit of an odd one. So,
true enough.
We'll have to see.
Match 5 of our 6th match night. Come down here for True and MILITSA MARCAIGH. Already came out once before.
Yep. In the victory against TRIXIE. See if MILITSA can make it a double night here for herself. That would definitely be an accomplishment of a sort.
Definitely want to see if she can walk herself closer and closer to 500 on the record. Walk those little hands over there, Bob Alden.
Bob coming out with 30 points to his name. Better than I think anybody really expected him to do. Very much kind of like Lindsay Barber in the sense that both of our freelancers did pretty darn well. Better than, good half of the OWO bracket. So,
yeah,
early on ground game.
Going in for those particular submission holds and rest holds. MILITSA MARCAIGH definitely is. Bob Alden, as we said, we had a few wrestlers who were products of a bygone era. You have KATYA, VLCEK, you got TAKASHI, FIORE, you have Bob Alden, all coming from that 80s, 90s wrestling aesthetic and particular style of offense and mindset. So I don't know how compatible or incompatible that is going up against MILITSA MARCAIGH and her particular MMA, more MMA-based fighting style. Yeah,
no, it's definitely one of those weird kind of situations where if you look back at sort of the era that Bob Alden seemed to fall out of, sort of late 80s, early 90s, so you're looking at an era before UFC was even a thing. So kind of an interesting kind of matchup in that regard. You would not have seen a hybrid MMA sort of pro wrestler at that particular moment because MMA was not really a thing in the United States at that point.
The closest you might have is mid-90s Steve Blackman and Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, well, Ken Shamrock, of course, by the mid-90s it would have been early UFC. Ken Shamrock, of course, well known as the one of the first kind of UFC Grand Champion fighters back when it was an open weight title. But yeah, you were seeing kind of maybe some early Brazilian moves towards sort of MMA, the Vale Tudo, the open style wrestling and fighting styles. The Gracies and all of that were definitely around at that particular moment. But the United States, this was, you know, you were still looking at 9A. That was still probably 5 years before we were having John McCain call it human cockfighting. Of course, you know, you could kind of funny coming from a guy who had personal stakes in boxing at the time, but you know, clearly that would have not made him in any way, you know, suspect. Not at all.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Like, no. He would never have any biases when it comes down to handing down rulings.
When has John McCain ever used his power to put forth his own personal agenda? Never at all.
Yeah, never at all. Those rear punches to the back of the head. Really number on Bob Alden. And again, I don't know if he has the same wherewithal to match up well against likes of Melissa Marcaigh. But then again, you'd be surprised when it comes down to it. Maybe we're asking the wrong question. Maybe it's whether or not Melissa Marcaigh has the chops to stand up against the Bob Alden. Yeah.
It's one of those things where, you know, I do kind of make a point of saying that, you know, MMA didn't necessarily exist in kind of the time that Bob Alden's definitely emulating. But it's also one of those things where if you look back at those sort of late 80s NWA matchups, you know, you're looking at sort of the birth of hardcore wrestling. You're seeing, you know, the kind of the miners' glove matches and things like that. It was definitely more of a striking style of wrestling than even kind of the WWF at the time would be, pretty much until the late 90s. So
we already saw a nice 2 count with Melissa giving a hook of the leg after that nice combination. Goes right for the Kimura, the Fujiwara armbar.
Mm-hmm. Throw Melissa into the corner here. What do we want to? Oh, just sliding her out into a nice
sleeper.
Yeah, nice sleeper there.
Now, if you manage to take a look at the way that Bob Alden made sure to step inside the inner thigh of Melissa Marcaigh, it makes it that much harder to wrest control of the dominant wrestler in that particular position.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it kind of adds to the lock of it. And it's one of those things where I always kind of say, sort of cheekily, that wrestlers found the key in terms of getting out of the wrestling maneuver, the ground maneuver that they're in. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, really good hold, it's basically like a really good lock. You can always find a way to break a lock, but it just kind of depends on how long it takes.
Oh, true indeed, true indeed. The longer it takes you, the more it wears you down over and over time. So it's whether or not you prioritize your health or the winning of the match.
Yeah. Can you get to that situation where you can get to a rope? Can you break it, or is it going to break you? Ooh, nasty little strike to the head there by Melissa.
Nice exchanges right there near the corner. Spinning back fist on the clincher. But Bob Alden gets right back up as Melissa tries to catch her breath.
Ooh, yeah, and another just strong hook there, going right back into the figure 4.
Pulling her away from the ropes, Bob Alden manages to pick her up. Oh, tries to go for a middle kick. Melissa catches it.
Nicely scouted there. Oh, talking about nasty hooks.
Jesus Christ.
Nasty amount of back mounted punches too. Takes basically every second she gets out of that. Shoulder tackle by Bob Alden.
Oh, and Bob Alden showing that he's not just all strength.
Yeah, strength. He's got a little bit of that trickster attitude to him as well. Off the ropes, no. Melissa catches it. Oh, and Bob catches those hands. Oh, and again.
Like that one. Hook of the leg. Oh, near fall.
Not
right
quite.
there.
But I think it's kind of only a matter of time if Melissa's still able to get those punches in, and yeah, there's another straight. Figure 4 from Bob this time. Up and into the sprawl.
Oh, right
once
there
again.
Belly to belly.
Yeah, Bob getting the best of it there. Oh. Bob managed to dodge some of those stronger punches there. Gets the flying body press. Looks like he's just out of the ropes there.
it's one of those situations where I'm not even sure who I'm technically rooting for.
No, it's just a fun one to watch. Oh, straight punch back into figure 4. We're looking at a situation.
Do whatever she can to nice way to get to go. Do whatever she can to just continue to punish Bob.
Yeah, holding on to holds for just a little bit longer, getting in those punches and things like that. Oh, Russian hook combination. You may be looking at the end there. Bob is, no. I was about to say, Bob's been taking quite a punishment and continues to do so. Melissa just not letting up. Still a 2 count, though.
Definitely. This is getting closer and closer to the 20-minute mark. Again, if this is your first time watching us, these matches are 30-minute
time limits, but we're not going to be seeing that because Bob managed to get it. He held on, I think, just a little bit too long. Melissa getting a little bit too winded from taking all those strikes. He got that real close 2.9, but managed just to hold on to his chin long enough to get into figure 4 and the victory.
Definitely. I don't think anybody had any one particular wrestler in this one coming away with the victory. This is my definition of a coin toss.
Yeah, no, it definitely could have gone either way, down pretty much to the wire. I would say probably the only thing that probably made it so the Bob had a slightly better chin, slightly better situation here is, once again, we're looking at a double book. Melissa coming in after getting the victory against Trixie, which did last quite a while. So probably was not quite at full gas tank walking into it, and even a slight dip in that gas tank would have been enough to potentially, once she got into that figure 4, just not strong enough to not to get to those ropes or find the key to that lock. So
yeah, this is definitely going to be a little bit more interesting as we move further down the bracket for A block.
Indeed, yeah. So, like I said, neither one of these people probably on the top to proceed into the end of into the finals of A bracket, but both could theoretically, if they have any matchups left against some of the top tier folk, be a hard spoiler or maybe a gatekeeper for them. So, ones to watch nonetheless. But
definitely.
That does mean we are moving back into B bracket. Let's see who we got there. We have well, this is one we were waiting on as well for some time here. We had kind of the that was it last week or last time we were here, or was it the time before that where we had kind of the week of or the day of tag teams colliding, yeah,
I think it might have been last week for that one.
Mega Powers exploding type of night. This was one that did not happen during that, but I would have fit right into that sort of theming. Cameron Chapman versus Kareem Kelly. Of course, we saw this matchup to get Cameron Chapman into this particular league. It's kind of funny to think that it all rested on that when Cameron Chapman now stands probably as, outside of Jacob Sapp, the best case scenario for winning this entire thing.
Well, on that note, I do have to step away for just one final second, because this is our last batch of matches for the night, I believe, right?
Yes, this is in fact the last match for TCW for tonight. Pretty good way of ending it here. And
you know what?
It is another double booking as well, because of course Cameron Chapman here earlier tonight.
Oh, true indeed. But I am honestly a little bit tempted, depending on what the 7th match of the night is, to go one more.
I would be down for that, depending on who it is. So we'll have to see. But for right now, this would be the last officially booked for the night match for TCW. But if you have to go and take care of something real quick, we'll go to a quick break.
Just a really quick break. Be right back.
Sure thing.
I'm honestly incredibly happy with us doing these 2 per week things, because, as I said, by my calculation, we would have been doing this all the way until the middle of June if we hadn't made some alterations to our schedule. But here we go, Vinicius de Fiore going double duty.
No.
After getting a loss.
That was a mistake. Hold on. Of course, it's Cameron Chapman versus Kareem Kelly. Yes. Yeah, that was the original one that we were going into. Yes, no, that was the game decided to throw down the card for me, so. But yes, here we are. Cameron Chapman going double duty tonight. So but yes, as we said beforehand, kind of a continuation of the Mega Powers Explode type of situation here. Two friends, or at least two former friends, kind of depends on, I guess, who you ask, going up against each other. This will be an interesting one. I think Cameron almost certainly, I mean, he pretty much has to come out with a win for this one, whether he does or not, to continue his streak down into the final stretch here. If he doesn't, then we're looking at potentially someone else stepping up if SAPP does manage to fall, maybe even Sue himself. So will be interesting to see.
Definitely very, very interesting to see on this particular one.
Sound guy not making the same mistake twice.
Yeah, I think that was all about Prince Rivera putting money in the wrong hands, probably trying to find some way to get some kind of mental advantage over Cameron Chapman, but not so much the same for Kareem Kelleigh.
Yeah, well, at the very least, it means that maybe this will be a clean, if perhaps heated affair.
Yeah, as we said, these I wouldn't put Cameron and Kareem in the former friends category like I would for their relationships with Darrell Dunn. But these are former tag team members. They know a lot about each other, about what each one can do in the ring. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they can figure out what they can actually get done against each other.
Yeah, and of course, as I said, the victory of Cameron Chapman over Kareem Kelleigh was what allowed him into the league in the first place. It's kind of funny to think that if he had lost that, we may not have the Giant Killer in this league at all. So,
yeah, he's definitely been living up to that moniker of the Giant Killer right now.
Yep, both Silva and SAPP fall into him. Can't get much more giant than that, really, especially at the very least in B bracket. You have a few giants he probably hasn't gone up against in OWO, but with his record, I would say he'd have a pretty good chance against just about anybody.
Oh, very much so. True indeed. What you're not going to see a lot of out of these two is a lot of striking, a lot of submissions. What you are going to see is what we're getting right now, a lot of quick moves going back and forth.
Yeah, it's kind of gone 200 miles an hour from the start here. Shades of sort of like a Lindsay Barber style of match here, just kind of, leaving it, just screw the gas tank. We're hitting the throttle and going all for it.
Yeah, Cameron Chapman has got to do a little bit more work in terms of ensuring that he makes sure, ensuring that his gas tank goes a little bit further, because he does already have a match under his belt for tonight. Kareem Kelleigh, on the other hand, completely fresh.
Yeah, and of course, this is one of those things where it was Prince Rivera. He did manage to get a pretty solid and quick victory there, but you're right. Any sort of matchup prior to this is going to be take a toll. So.
Right now, each one filling each other out a little bit more. A nice suplex from Kareem Kelleigh, but both get up and right around the same time. Goes for it once again. Oh! Slips through.
Ooh! That's a new one.
Right there with the prawn hold.
A lovely counter to that suplex in general. Kind of got hit once and not again.
Gord busted right into the La Magistral.
She goes to the ropes, though. This is probably two. No? Bruce calls it.
He's got his back to the ropes, which is very smart because he can't force his way through the ropes.
Yeah, it's something that KAREEM didn't utilize. Although, manages to get the baseball strike into the corner.
Standing shooting star.
2 count. A little bit dangerous there for Cameron.
The gourd buster right to the long straw.
Just a 1 count there. Oh. Just some nice twists. Nice twist off the top there from KAREEM. Cameron looking a little worse for wear here.
Pop-up Hurricane Rana.
Gets another 2.
I think KAREEM was a little bit faster in terms of level and style of offense compared to Cameron. Cameron did have to make some changes and adjustments just to make it into the league, so he's not wrestling the same style of wrestling that we saw prior to the league. Nice DDT from KAREEM Kelly, but both men are down right now.
Yeah, if nothing else, this does show that if these two actually did manage to get back together into any sort of a tag team, that they would be damn vicious together, because it looks like they are basically playing to each other's kind of weaknesses, to each other's strengths here. You know, it's not shocking to me at all that this used to be a team.
Nice swing flipper by him. Stand up Isaguri.
Nasty little arm hold there, kind of cranking out the back of the neck too. Take down armbar or arm hold there. Oh, we're just powering through that whatever KAREEM was planning there, but KAREEM back up and in control once again.
Going for the arm, seeing a few more submissions. Going to do whatever he can to try to neutralize that particular part of offense for him. Super kick though, clinches it right to a lariat.
Oh, super kick, but he falls on him. Gets a near fall. And the first near falls of the match here for Cameron.
Oh, shooting star press.
Off the ropes, and that's it.
We are seeing the coronation of Cameron Chapman.
And yeah, as Noms once again well puts it, that was damn close. That was a couple of times in there where I could have totally seen KAREEM walking away as the spoiler of the century here, making sure that the Giant Killer would have been only known as the Giant Killer and not known as the person who might go and unseat SAPP at the top at the last moment. Yeah, but Cameron manages to get 2 victories in one night, adding once again to his impressive repertoire, to his impressive CV here in the league, and that's himself point number 45. So, once again, damn good match. Cameron walking away with victory, which leaves us with what will probably be the last match of OWO. Whether we go for match number 7 in the league, we'll see. But as for the matches that are currently scheduled, this will be the last match of the night. Stay tuned. We'll probably have a little bit more, if not in the league, at the very least some out of league, matchups kind of in the back, some dark matches, so to speak. But first we'll go to, well, once again, getting some of these doubles out of the way. TRIXIE coming out once again against KINGATHAN DEADLAN. And then coming off of a little bit of a high after beating Bookman last week. But still not exactly, both of these, as said, TRIXIE not in a position really to fight for the top. KINGATHAN definitely not in any position to fight for the top. So this is just going to be an interesting matchup to see, basically, who walks away with a little bit more pride in their league here. So
they're gonna beat each other up. That's all we know.
I agree. So let's get to it.
It's the Bookman with heavy driving music.
It's not the Bookman.
You put me. Oh wait, my bad.
It's KINGATHAN. It's the other one.
I got him mixed up.
We've already saw the Bookman out tonight.
I'm just sitting here just vibing with the music. That's what happened.
The music's even about kings.
Hey, you know what? If Michael Cole could be doing this for 20 plus years and make mistakes, I could do it for a few months and make a mistake.
As long as you don't call a chair a ladder or some steps a table, I'll be alright with it.
Or call a blue thunder bomb when it's clearly a Michinoku driver.
Yeah, that's a little harder. You should be able to identify what steps are as a human being.
Trixie, once again, is the one pulling double duty with KINGATHAN DEADLAN right here. Again, since we were having this conversation, just straight up no selling that kick. Since we were having the conversation, KINGATHAN's record is what, 2-7 now?
It's not great. I think it might have been 3-6 at the top. Yeah. So one behind. Either 1 or 2 behind Trixie at either 10 or 15. Oh, King going for that spell. That's the sort of rattle you're hearing, but Trixie kind of playing off it, doing her or their own sneakiness.
Ooh, drop kicks in and Trixie to the outside of the ring, but they're not allowing it to stay out there. Now beforehand, Trixie was more than willing to take a breather or two.
Yeah, every now and again they do sit outside for a little bit longer, but it's not every time. They do come back. And you know, Trixie has a lot of fight in them.
Definitely, right there, that elbow part. But King drops them into a DDT, and then the recursor to that triangle lock. Always trying to figure out how to get that. How does King have the wherewithal to get himself into that position?
Yeah.
Nice rough knee right there into that neck hold off of the SDF.
Yeah. Nasty little business there. DDT into attempts at a couple different kicks there from both of them. On the high straddle, no.
Nope, nothing right there.
Oh, go behind? No.
Kelleigh was going for a setup for the airplane spin, but no position right there for him.
Off the ropes, no.
Oh, now coming off the top rope. Collar
drop, no. Misses it. Goes into the choke. Airplane spin, no. Go behind. Couple punches. Oh, go behind, countered.
Dragging Trixie right to the center of the ring. Once again, going for that weird triangle lock.
Yeah, that sort of straight jacket triangle.
Oh, there you go, that prism hold.
Yeah, Trixie showing off that King isn't the only one who can do some of these nasty looking holds.
Jesus, right now.
It's a nasty little business back and forth. Not really sure who is kind of in control here. Trixie with the momentum currently, but only just.
Yeah, neither are really managing to take the upper hand when it comes down to a couple of things. So that Rough Rider to the back of Trixie's head.
Ooh.
Right there to that orienting napalm death.
Yep. Orienteering with napalm death. A classic from the Zack Sabre school.
Oh my God!
Mist.
Got right in. Maybe the masks. Oh no! Never mind.
I think the masks may have saved King there, throwing on the Falcon Arrow. Still a little close to the ropes. Maybe it's entirely possible that the mist may have gotten him a little bit confused. Maybe that was the reason why I was a little close to the ropes. But yep.
Oh,
see,
that's a perfect one right there.
That's a perfect one. Just a 2 for right now.
Once again, Trixie dragging King away from the ropes. King goes right to the airplane spin. Flirting a little bit too much with danger, but getting a little bit too close to the ropes.
Yeah. Throws on that. Roast pig clutch. Oh, we're going to see the vertical brainbuster. I think we are.
Triple.
Oh. Tries to go for the mist again. Doesn't quite get it this time.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, wait.
Oh! Eiffel de parachute! One of King's secret moves. Only gets a 2, though.
Over.
Oh, calls it over.
Calls it over. Will this be over? Once again, that prism lock.
Hold.
Nope, not quite. Spins him around.
That was in prime position. 1, 2.
No, just 2.
Again, that cocky pin. I don't know if that's gonna end up.
Uh-oh, this is gonna be dangerous. Oh, vertical brainbuster to the outside. Oh, Trixie, no. Did you see there from King? Oh, nasty little kick to follow it up.
Nice dragon screw from King. Sometimes you got to keep on chopping down the tree, even though you're as tall as the tree. Always, that double spine buster
into. I think it's going to be the small package driver. Was a little too close to the ropes though.
Oh, there you go. Straight neck into camel clutch.
Indeed, indeed. Falcon Arrow. Will
15 minutes, 1,
this
2.
be it? No.
No. It's hilarious because it's not even. I don't even think I've seen him touch his finisher lately since he has the Falcon Arrow in his repertoire. Maybe that's what's also causing a bit of the issue.
Yeah, it's one of those things where that Falcon Arrow has been his go-to. It may be one of those things where that maybe what he wants to focus on from now on. We'll have to see after the league. But it's definitely when he has been able to get it off in the right place in the right time, it has served him well. Oh, once again with the spin round.
Doing a little bit of work. That 2 count off the cocky pin. King is doing the smart thing, pulling him away, keeping him away from the ropes. Oh, nah, but a little bit too close. Oh my God!
Right to the side of the barricade, and yeah, King's definitely feeling that. Has to be some sort of momentum changer, although King coming back with some offense immediately. Oh yeah, I think he's a little bit thrown off by that one.
Oh, misses that time.
Misses, yeah.
I think Trixie still got a little bit of that mist on his clothes, so it's going to be a little bit hard for him to catch his breath if you got particles just, taking place at every inhale of yours.
Yeah. Oh, throwing him around again. Cocky pin once again. Still just a 2. Trixie really might have to think about doing a different type of pin here, but still kind of too close to the ropes.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Trixie keeping the momentum here. Oh, goes for that kick, but sadly just rolls right into an airplane spin.
It might be. No, it's not it.
No, not it. 21 minutes. We're coming up to that last kind of 10-minute here.
This is where you start to understand if you want to get the victory without having to go through a just decision, you either have to have your game plan tightened up and be more truncated, be more succinct with what you plan on doing, or you're going to have to panic a little bit.
Yeah. Either way, we've seen it from both angles. Airplane spin again, runs up. Ooh!
Oh!
Run up senton. Oh, coup de grace.
Double foot.
Nice little roll up there. Just a 2 count, though.
Oh, rolling knee bar.
Rolling knee bar. No,
Getting
not
close.
quite.
There's just 6 minutes left.
Vertical brainbuster. Almost to the outside there. Once again with a cocky pin. Not sure how smart that is, but no, sadly it's a 2 count.
This one might do it, though.
Small package driver might do it, though. Nothing cocky about that. All technique, but still gets only a 2. Oh, and there it is. There it is. King walking away with a victory with that straitjacket choke, straitjacket crossface.
You know what? I'm okay with that. I'm especially not going to be sitting here going, throw away this match on a 97% match evaluation and 4.5 stars. No, keep on to that. That was a great match by King of the Deadland. So that makes it 2 in a row, actually.
2 in a row, yeah, for King. Unfortunately, 2 in a row for TRIXIE as well. Both losses for tonight. But well done on the same. Both were the highest rated matches in terms of evaluation by both the fans and the critics. So TRIXIE definitely showing that they may not necessarily have it in to win, but at this point in the league, showing off that they can kind of do some crowd pleasers is still nothing to sneeze at.
Not at all.
So, all right, let's see. We're going to do the B bracket tease, and we'll see if we want to play this one for tonight or if we want to wait until our next get together. Let's see. It is. Oh, Karen Bishop versus Darrell Dunn. I would say, yeah, we may want to wait on this one. We'll maybe pass it off into some dark matches. What do you all think?
I might be down for that. I was hoping for fate to smile on us and say Jacob Sapp versus Jeff Su, even though this technically would be Jacob Sapp's second match, right?
Well,
the night, yeah.
Yeah, well, it would only befit him after taking 2 out of Mickey. Or not Mickey, Martin. Mickey sadly not. But with that, we might go and move into our dark matches for the night. We'll play off some good ones here and play it off right, and then we'll call it a night. So give us just a second while we are planning that. So, and of course, if you have any suggestions for that, throw them in the chat. It's always appreciated.
Yep.
But we'll be right back with it. And we are back at it, of course, with the man of the hour, the one everyone wants to see, apparently, and I don't blame him.
Not in the least.
Versus
it's
the
time
one
for the cornstarch of Mickey.
The Mikey or the cornstarch of the Mickey. Versus, of course, our own resident current Mr. Gremlin.
You know what? I'm rooting for Mickey Cornstarch. I'm even rooting for him to have the title because at least his color scheme fits the belt.
You know what? That's not a bad point. He does kind of wear the colors that are very similar to that Etsy belt, so
it is indeed time to, as we say, F him up.
Yeah. Mickey getting some pretty decent early offense here.
Yeah, has he been training while everybody's away? Has he been still working?
Oh, dodges the fire even.
Yeah, this feels like a different Mickey than we've seen before.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how easily he gets that big move or anything on him. Throws him into the corner. Sumo rush.
That might be nice. It's just enough to get body on body, though.
Just enough.
Nice sharpshooter from Zane. As I say, I don't hate Zane, and I'm indifferent to Nam, but it's the fact that they keep bringing in titles without consulting me. I am Well, I'm paying one half of their salaries.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
Oh.
Oh, no, I don't think it's working that time around. I'll start just the little gremlin just kind of throwing it in his face with that.
And right there with the Nagata lock.
Gets a 1 off that failed attempt. Once again,
yelling in his face.
Speaking of oh no. Oh no, drive goes
Like
into it.
going for that Main Street Slam, but turn it to an armbar.
Oh, there he goes
time?
again. No, I don't think he's got it this time either. No.
Oh, back-to-back forearms. Oh.
Punch.
Oh,
Another oh no drop.
oh no drop.
Oh no, his own. Oh, near fall of that. One of the throat chop. Too close to the ropes. Oh, almost gets the spear off into the corner there, but not quite.
Oh, right there into the standing armbar, but it might be too close to the ropes.
It is too close to the ropes. An actual damn bear. Calling it.
Nice fireman's carry from Zane Alapex.
Big sledge. Oh. Pop the head there.
Right there, that
Headlock,
grounded
no.
headlock. That's usually not enough to go for a submission, but it is enough to drive your opponent down in terms of their stamina. Mickey's cornstarch already breathing a little bit heavy.
Yeah, little dazed, little heavy. Any move might be it here. Standing arm triangle, no. Off the ropes again. Back fist. Shot to the gut.
And then once again, that might be it.
And that's unfortunately it for Mickey. Mickey knocking it out right at the end, but too little too late. The Gremlin champion holds the title for another day.
Is it unfair of me to bar any unsanctioned matches for that Etsy title? I mean, technically I couldn't do that since it belongs to your brand now.
I guess, yeah. I guess true enough. Zane is technically a member of OWO at this point. So,
I mean, you could put an end to my misery by, I don't know, instituting a rule that from this point on, all title belts must be defended and consulted upon by the leader of the promotion. And then I could always say no, and we never see this title again.
That's true, but at the same time, are you really ever going to watch Mickey Cornstarch in a title match outside of something like this?
I don't know if their tag team is any indication for how well they managed to hold their own. No.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like seeing Mickey going for something here, even in a losing effort. It's kind of fun. So, but it does leave us with only 10 minutes of a dark match here. Do we want to throw in another one here before we call it a night? Oh yeah, also title defense. Forgot about that.
Title defense.
Yeah.
It is getting a might bit late, so unless it's something incredibly quick, I think we can hold off for right now. We definitely could do something on Saturday when we got a little bit more time, a little bit more more freedom to move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would be smart to do, if only because, like I said, we are getting to the end of the league, so we should probably get to that point quicker rather than later. So I'd be down for doing something on Saturday. Does mean I believe we are moving into the end of our stream today, which means it's time for our general housekeeping and thank yous. So, as you heard, we're probably going to be doing something here on Saturday as well for this week to get the end of the league a little bit faster. Means that next Wednesday, if not maybe next Saturday, if we decide to do another twofer, would probably be the absolute end of the league.
The finals.
Depending on how well that goes. It's one of those things where it is kind of, a lot of things are kind of riding on that Jeff versus Jacob Sapp match, because if Sapp loses it, then it's entirely possible that we'll have to have some sort of tiebreaker for B bracket. So we'll have to see how the game plays with that. So it might go a little longer, if only for that reason, but we'll end up seeing. But either way, this should be done, if not by the end of next week, then by the week after that. In which case we will have our first world champion, not just promotion champion, but actual official world champion. And then from there, we will have plenty of little things to show off to you all. But until then, if you wouldn't mind following us here on Twitch, Heel Kaiju over there, Comrade Husky Gaming, of course, here. If you want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter is Comrade Husky. That will get you, I always tweet out something before we start these streams. As I said last time, I am, of course, once this league is over too, going to probably move into some other games as well. Probably Disco Elysium and a couple other ones. Until that point, we will be continuing to do this. And of course, even after the league, we, of course, will be continuing to bring you plenty of wrestling. If maybe just on Wednesdays again. We'll see. I don't know. I kind of been liking the Saturday ones, though.
Oh, yeah. They have been kind of fun.
They've been kind of fun. So we might give you a Saturday every now and again, but it'll definitely be, I think, lesser than it has been here. So anything else you want to tell the folks?
Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Keep away from central booking out there, love. Catch y'all later, deuces.
Catch y'all later.